Hi guys, thought I'd start the vlog off slightly different. I'm on my balcony. It's lovely weather today, it's not too hot. It's been so hot lately that I'm just enjoying the slight breeze that there is today. So I'm out here, had my lunch just now, as you just saw. So, welcome back to the vlog. It's been a bit. Let me pull you slightly closer so I don't have to speak so loudly. So, it's been a little bit. I didn't vlog last week, so things have been intense at work. If you follow me on Instagram, you know all about this. But yeah, things have been intense. So I'll probably talk about it. Should I talk about it? Yeah, might as well. So we've had some slight staffing issues, as in like the lady that's in the kitchen, it's a lot for her. So I ended up going back to the kitchen. So I used to work in the kitchen 3-4 years ago, and I worked there for a while. But it's not where I want to be. It's not, I don't love being in the kitchen. I'm good at it. I'm really good at it. But I just really don't like it. It's very, very stressful, and it really messes with my head a lot. Especially like working with my dad, literally side by side with my dad. It gets very stressful. So I got to a point where my brain was just not happy, and I was not feeling great. A bit of my depression kind of came back. So I really was not myself last week. And basically I didn't do much. Like, I was so mentally exhausted from work that I'd come home and all I'd do was sleep. So yeah, I'm feeling better. I took a week off. That did me the world of good. I used my week just to rest up and honestly play Animal Crossing. I got a Switch for my birthday, so I've been playing that a bit, and it's been able to get my brain just clearer slightly. But the good thing is I've had some ideas, and that's kind of what we're going to be working on slightly. My eyes are so puffy. Oh my goodness. And I think you're dirty. I don't know. My glasses are dirty, so I don't know if you're dirty or if it's the glasses. And without them, I can't see, so. What was I saying? Right, so I've had some ideas. I didn't necessarily realise how quickly this summer's kind of going. So I was just like seeing in the group chats I'm in with all small business owners talking about Christmas and things, and like my friend Adele, she just launched her Christmas Kickstarter, which is amazing. If you haven't seen that, and if you've been living under a rock, please go check out Adele's Kickstarter. I will definitely leave it in the description. I've pledged. I've pledged for one of the Christmas decorations. I might pledge for a pin when they unlock. I'd really like another pin of hers. I love Adele's pins, and since I love the pins, I think I'm gonna love the decorations. I love Emily's decoration I have from Emily Harvey Art, so I'm loving it. Definitely go check that out. What was I going with that? I don't know, but do go support Adele. So yeah, everyone's kind of like going with Christmas stuff, and I'm just like, oh my goodness, I have nothing planned for the end of the year. And last year, because we launched the shop in November and it was so kind of already too close to Christmas, I didn't do anything like Christmassy or holiday themed at all. So it hadn't crossed my mind yet. But I sat down and I did a bit of drawing, and I loved what I drew. And I'm going to be basing one of my products off of that. So probably what we're going to do in a bit is I'm going to go to the office. I'm not going to start on the new stuff yet, because I want to get some like all the piddly little jobs that have been kind of bugging me for a while. Like last week when I did try to vlog at the beginning of the week, which I got very frustrated, and I ended up just turning the vlog off. I didn't speak at all, and I was just getting so frustrated very quickly. I tried to do some sticker organisation. It just wasn't working out. The card I was using was too thick, and then if I folded it wrong, it was like all janky. I just got annoyed and I just left it. So the office is a bit of a meh right now. So there's like loads of little jobs I want to get done. Like I want to make some tote bags, one for a lady that works with me. She really wants one, but she can't order online. So I'm gonna give it to her in person. Then I'm gonna make one for my other colleague Becca. I also will be making a surprise tote bag for Becca as well, but that will be probably next week or the week after. This week is also an interesting one, that it's my boyfriend's birthday tomorrow. So I've been kind of also a bit all over the place with that, because I don't have a driver's license. So for me to go and get his present, and like I had to go all about this in a weird way just to get my boyfriend a birthday present. This has been quite a bit of a chatty one. And since I'm like sat on the balcony, I'm not in the office, I'm not like doing anything while I'm chatting. But I hope that's okay with you. I hope you're all good. Thank you for supporting me through this past week. And when I put it on Instagram that I wasn't feeling great and I just wanted people to bear with me a bit, I was gonna continue vlogging last week, but everyone messaged me and saying for me to take care of myself, and if I need to take a break, and that even if I don't upload for one Sunday, everyone will still be there. So I think it's gonna mess up with my YouTube. I really do think. Because I was doing so well, constantly uploading. It was doing so well here for the channel that we exceeded our milestone. We're still getting there on Instagram. We're actually not that far on Instagram. We're like 9 followers away from hitting the milestone. So hopefully, maybe in this vlog, I need to post about it actually. So hopefully in this vlog, maybe we'll reach the milestone, which means later this week, if we do hit it, because there is only 9 followers away, hopefully this week we can get it. If not, we'll do this next week, or whenever it happens. I will be releasing the reward for this first milestone, which is a 50% off coupon code that anyone can use for one purchase. So if you're fancying shopping, use the 50% code. It's going to be valid for like a day, I think I'm just going to do it for a day. So keep an eye on my Instagram. I will be saying it over there, and the date and things. I'll probably do it on like a Saturday or something, so you've got time possibly to sort it, kind of like over the weekend situation. So yeah, tomorrow's gonna be a bit of a weird one for me. My boyfriend, I haven't seen him today. He's not coming home for lunch today. He's working slightly further away, so it would be a hassle driving back. So I got the house to myself today, which just felt weird, but I got dressed. I'm normally in my pajamas still, and I made lunch. I cooked lunch, which is very rare for me at the moment. So just going with the small accomplishments and being proud of myself that I've done what I've done today, and that I've at least done this with chatting with you guys. Don't know if I'm necessarily going to go in the office and do much. I think I really want to post a reel, and I kind of want to be a bit jokey about it. So I think I'm going to do a reel that's just like, guess who's back? Back again. Guess who's back? Tell a friend. That kind of thing. I think I might just do a reel for that, and I'm going to post about the milestones as well. Yeah, and tomorrow, no, not tomorrow. Tomorrow I'm not working. Wednesday, when I'm back. Because Mondays are always weird ones, aren't they? Especially after a weekend. For me, weekends are weird because I only have one day off on Saturday, and Sunday is always very intense. So Mondays are always a bit of a like hangover from work kind of thing. It's always like a routine. It's like, because it's the day after the day off, everyone's still a bit like wishing the day off was longer, feeling weirdly exhausted kind of thing. So I'm better. I'm getting better. But hopefully I'm not in the kitchen for much longer. Hopefully it's only till the end of August, which means it's only 2 weeks away till I'm back where I should be. Because I do love my job. I love being a manager in the front, being a waitress and manager of the front. And it really makes me truly happy with the customers. And for being in the front, I will do both of these things. I'll do the shop and the front if I can do that. Because for me, it's not mentally exhausting. It actually helps me a lot. But being in the kitchen does the opposite. So it kind of came in the mix with the shop, which I'm not happy about. I'm not happy that the restaurant ended up having slight more priority. But it does at the moment because the restaurant is what is bringing me money, of course, but that's not the end goal. I don't want to go too much into this. I've already been talking for 13 minutes. That already should be a vlog's worth of chatting. Jesus. Okay. I think I'm going to go film a reel. I think then I'm going to chill. Because last night was a lot. But also tomorrow, I'm really happy that I'm going to spend the day with my boyfriend tomorrow. And I hope he loves his present. So I actually got him 2 presents, because he got me 2 presents as well for my birthday. He got me the Nintendo Switch, and he got me my new ring light, which honestly is the best ring light tripod stand I've ever had. Like, I also have one of the wiggly arm ones with the clamps. That is horrible. It's the worst thing. It just doesn't stand, and it wobbles a lot once you put it on there, and I've got to wait for it to stop wobbling to start filming, otherwise you're going to get seasick. Motion sickness from watching it. But the other one, it's like the tripod is amazing. It can be a full standing tripod, but also be a tripod that's this high. So it's perfect that I can just put it on the desk, or I can just extend it and it's on the floor. So I'm liking that, and the ring light is nice. So yeah, I've got in. I'm babbling on so much. I'm gonna let you guys go. I'm gonna stop talking now, otherwise I'm gonna stay here talking for ages. I'll see you guys on Wednesday. guys, I'm back. It's actually Sunday, so it's actually the day you're hopefully watching this vlog if I can pull my act together and edit this as soon as I finish filming this. I haven't really filmed that much this week. I've been suffering a lot with my anxiety again, and I thought, I asked over on Instagram if you guys wanted to see a bit more of like an anxiety chat here at the end of the vlog. So that's kind of what we're gonna do, especially since I haven't necessarily filmed much. I think I filmed a bit on Monday and on Wednesday, I think it was, but I've had a bit of a tough week this week. It was my boyfriend's birthday, but a lot of stuff kept going wrong, and it was just very stressful. And we also had 3 days without one of our staff members at the restaurant, so yeah, it's been complete chaos, and it's kind of driven me to, well, my anxiety's back again basically. So I thought I was thinking, why not chat a bit about my journey with anxiety so you guys don't feel alone in this. Like, I know so many of us suffer with it that it's kind of a bit of a norm now, but still talking about it is good, and so you don't feel alienated. It's something that I sometimes feel is like when I say, I'm feeling really anxious, people are like, just calm down, and I'm like, that's not how it works. Especially here in Portugal, it's like growing up here, that's a big difference on mental health. Like, it doesn't, this is going to sound really wrong, it doesn't exist here. It does exist, people do suffer with it, but there's very little help. There's a lot more help now than there used to be, but it's like, it's not talked about. It's not talked as if it's a normal thing. It's still like condoned to being crazy kind of thing. I love Portugal, but in certain things it's kind of like still stuck in its times. For other things it's so more advanced than others, but in certain things it's really stuck in its time. So I always, growing up, I wanted to be kind of a voice for the people who weren't able to speak on anxiety. Like at school, I always used to talk about anxiety when I used to do projects and stuff, and talk a lot about it with my friends, because I learned so much through YouTube growing up, watching YouTubers actually like explain stuff and make you realise that you're not alone. Like for me, it was growing up watching Zoella vlogs. I think all of us know who that is. Especially now with vloggers. Vloggers is vloggers, right? Anyway, I don't want to change the subject. But my journey started when I was quite young with anxiety. My nan passed away when I was 16, and she was like the most important person in my life. Like she was my parents worked ridiculous amounts of hours, so I spent a lot of time with my nan. And she passed away when I was 16. And kind of the lead up to that, because she was in the hospital and stuff, it's kind of, I had my first ever panic attack in the middle of a math test, which the strangest thing that happened is that I forgot Portuguese then. And it's like, I've learned perfect Portuguese, I speak fluent Portuguese, and at this time I was like in a Portuguese school and I'm taking a math test and I don't remember any Portuguese, and I'm reading the test and it doesn't make sense to me. And then I start panicking, and it was just probably, realistically thinking back now, it's just me being overwhelmed with all the emotions that are happening and dealing with knowing what's about to happen but still not knowing how to deal with it. So it kind of started from there, and it kind of got spiraled a lot over the years, and throughout the rest of high school, throughout the rest of university, suffering a lot with anxiety, daily basis, and I was still working at the restaurant at the time. Well, that's kind of, I've been working there since I'm 14, every summer, so I then would have panic attacks at work. In the middle of service, I used to have loads of panic attacks. My anxiety got way worse when I was with my ex-boyfriend, but that's a whole different story. But it was around two years ago. Is it 2 years now? It's nearly 2 years now. Probably 3 years. So during the pandemic, it got really, really bad. Really, really bad. The anxiety and the depression that mixed with it for some odd reason. And it was just before the pandemic, actually. I'd stepped out and I said to my boyfriend, he's like, I need to go to therapy. I need to. This is not good for me. I need someone to help me. So I went to conventional therapy for a bit. Then the pandemic hit, which means I wasn't able to see her. And then I spent a long time without that. Then pandemic years just feel like it was different. So I ended up stop going after that. Because it just felt like I was just like, all they were saying is that this is why that you feel like that. And then I'm like, well, what do I do about it? How do I fix it? How do I stop thinking that? How do I... And no, that wasn't... It's like, that kind of therapy is just like, you talk and they say, this is why you feel like that, and how do you feel about that? But they don't give you the tools to kind of deal with it in the future. So it does mean that you're back there every week. And it just wasn't working out for me. And I also figured out in very short amount of time, kind of after that I have ADHD. So that does mix everything even more weirder for me. But I was like not liking normal therapy. Then I had a job in a different area. I was working in real estate and I got poached by a company and I changed company. They stabbed me in the back so much and they caused me so much trauma and mental damage that I broke. I'm a strong woman, but it broke me, that did, completely. And luckily my mum had been going to a different type of therapy, which was hypnotherapy, which was by a friend of hers. So what she explained to me, it did sound interesting, but I was like, I don't understand how this works. Because I know my brain and I know it's really difficult for me to concentrate on one thing. I was really kind of skeptical, but I went anyway. And first of all, I loved her so much, which that's also straight away made me feel comfortable, made me feel understood. Like the first session, it was like a double session because she first wanted to talk about everything of what I wanted help with, what I didn't want help with, what I think I may need help with, and the process of getting to that, which that straight away made me feel so comfortable that there is an end goal. And she also said to me, I'm only going to do this amount of sessions because that's all I think you're going to need. And then that's it. Then you're on your own. But if you need again, I'm here. Which that's like conventional therapy felt like it was a non-stop thing. But I was never going to get it fixed. And it's not like it fixed. It still existed. But I was given the tools to deal with them better in day-to-day life. So I started going to hypnotherapy and it changed me. It honestly did. I used to be someone that was very, very self-conscious. Still am a bit, but very, very self-conscious. Have had no confidence at all. Weirdly shy and loud at the same time. And I just never could speak to anyone. Like, if I didn't know them, I wouldn't speak to them. And that messed up with all my jobs, of course. Whether it was waitressing, whether it was in real estate. And it was, like, impacting my life. And I don't think of myself like that anymore. My hair is a bit of a mess today. I'm just now realising. Like, I don't think of myself like that anymore. I think of myself that I am confident when I feel good about myself, which is on myself to do, to make myself feel good and make myself proud. And I kind of went on a journey of figuring myself out. This was last year. I did a full year of sessions, and I felt like a different woman when I came out of that. And I saw so much progress in myself. And up until last week, I hadn't had a panic attack or an anxiety day, as in when I wake up with the anxiety straight away, as soon as I open my eyes, the anxiety, till I go to sleep. I hadn't had one of those days in nearly a year and a half. So I think that's bloody good progress. But the thing is, I've gone back and I feel like I've gone back to how I was before I went to that therapy. That it is a big reason is because I'm back in the kitchen, which is where I was when that kind of happened, when I had that kind of mentality. And it's like nothing's changed there, even though I have changed. So it's still all the same emotions and still all the same trauma involved. And I was doing well. Like I've nearly been 2 months in the kitchen now. The first month I was doing well and I was able to control it, and I was able to kind of not let my head go in its dark spot, continue on, still work hard and not let it get to me. But then I started getting exhausted and not necessarily feeling appreciated for the extra effort I was doing. So I was feeling very unmotivated, and then it kind of opened up a window for the anxiety to come in. And it's gone to the point now where it literally went from just there's a little slither open and then boom, it's there. And I've tried all the steps. I've tried doing everything they taught me at therapy. And it's just very circumstantial, which is even more frustrating, I think. That the reason I'm having anxiety is because I'm dealing with this situation, but I'm dealing with this situation every single day till November. So I know that there is going to be a time where I won't feel it, November, but I'm in August. I still have all of this time, and it's very circumstantial, and it's impacting my day-to-day life, my personal life. So I think I'm going back to therapy in September if I have the time, because I really don't know what's happening with the restaurant right now. The source of my anxiety currently is very up in the air, because I've said I will not work another day after August in the kitchen. Because I can't, for my own mental health and just for my conscience, I cannot do that. But we're currently trying to hire someone else for the kitchen. At the same time, we might be having to fire someone else. So the idea wasn't to have to fire anyone, and we've never fired anyone, and we've been open for 17 years. But it's the idea of the person we were going to hire was just to substitute me. You know, still going to be the same team, just substituting me so I can go back to the front. But now with some things that have happened over the last week, that person might actually be substituting someone else, not me, which then puts me in a sticky situation. Like, but that person was supposed to substitute me, so that means like we're still hiring someone, but I still have to stay in the kitchen. Like, that's not the point. But I don't know what's happening, and I will not know until possibly I might know something on Monday, because we're going to be speaking to the person we're going to hire on Monday and kind of see how that goes. I still don't know if it will work, because like I still have the whole of September, whole of October in front of us, which used to be kind of quiet, but not anymore. Like last year we had a ridiculous September and a ridiculous October. So I'm mentally prepared that we're going to do the same amount of people as we did last year, even though we're averaging more than last year in terms of numbers of customers this year. I've gone into a bit of a restaurant rant now. That's not what I want to talk about. I just want to talk about my journey, and then we'll get on to some questions. So yeah, I think best thing for me is I do need to go back to therapy, but I also really just wanted to talk it out with you guys, so you guys can kind of feel where I'm at, and why being in here is weird, because I love this room and this room brings me so much joy, but it feels like a chore to be in here because I want the little time to be productive and for me to feel good. It's like it's got a lot, the thing of coming in here has got pressure on it. Which I don't understand why, but it's like I feel like, well, if I'm going to be in here for a bit, just because I finally have some energy to be in here, I need to do something productive and film it for the vlog, and then I'm just stressed and then I don't do it. Vicious cycle. Now, all I did in here this week was I made some tote bag packaging, which I love. I'm very happy with that. And I don't really know what to do because I want to start designing our kind of winter collection-ish. It's kind of preparing for the new year collection, as in like, because we do stationery and planners and stuff, so it's not necessarily winter, but it's prepping for the next year. So there's got a few things, there's quite a bit to design and stuff, but I haven't been in the right headspace for it. Hopefully I'll do something next week. I don't know, it's like I keep hoping that the next day I'll wake up and I'll like be feeling better and I'll be able to be back in here and feeling back to being myself again. But that day hasn't come and I still wake up with anxiety every morning. It's that weird feeling here in the chest, like an ache, and at the same time your heart beating very fast, and it just feels like it's not painful, but it's like a constant that it doesn't leave you, and it's just like there bugging you that it exists. It's like a cloud that's just in here, and feeling that constantly after not feeling it constantly for a year and a half is very strange. It's like, because when you deal with it every day, you get used to it and you don't really realise it as much on the silly things, more it's only when it's big things or when it just accumulates. But it's like, I'm like, I don't know who I am anymore. I don't like who I'm being with the people like around me. Like, I'm a bit more moody, I'm not as happy, and I'm a bit more quiet. I get annoyed quite easily as well, but that also might just be stress. So I really hope that I can get back on track. There's such a simple solution to all of this, but it's a solution I cannot take. I'm very aware of this, that my solution is leave the restaurant and don't work there anymore. The emotional attachment, the emotional trauma, and all of that that's involved, it's all because of that, and it's all because it's been accumulated over years with different people and different situations. But I said I'd do 5 years. I've only done 1 since we said that. But things have changed. Circumstances have changed, and it's now a question of how can I put this? So I'm very aware that if I'm not there, that's it, the restaurant's gone. That restaurant does not run without me. It can't anymore. It's gotten too used to having me running it. So if I leave my parents in a situation without them having a job. I also leave without me having a job to fall back on in case something happens. So it's like it puts the pressure on me of there's nothing I can really do other than deal with it. Because I'm not going to put myself in a bad position and my parents in a position. I don't know, I wouldn't do that. But at the same time, I'm like, but I'm really not okay, and no one's necessarily listening to me, and no one's helping me, and I'm having to step up myself. Like, in my personal life, I'm okay. In my work life, I'm not. But that's not being heard. It's being just anxiety's back. That's what's being heard. This is a bit ridiculous. I've gone on for 20 minutes now. I don't know if I've rambled a bit too much about the restaurant, but that's kind of been my journey with anxiety. Tell me your journey. Like, when did you start having anxiety, and when did you start doing something about it and not just wallowing in our feelings? Because I know many of us did that for many years before taking the scary step of going to therapy. I'm taking that step again because I want to be better. I know I can be, and I've proved to myself that I can do it. And I think I just need someone to help me mentally reassure and take this pressure off me, because it's an unnecessary pressure that I am not mentally prepared for, not being paid enough to do. But I did also ask on Instagram a cheeky little question. I thought I'd put first a poll whether you wanted this or not. And, well, sorry to the 13 of you that did vote. Here you go, and it's 20 minutes long. So it's your fault. No, joking. So the question I asked was, what do you have anxiety? If so, how do you deal with it? So as in, what are some things that can help you deal with your anxiety on a daily basis? So I got 3 answers, which I thought was still so sweet, seeing as I posted it so last minute. So I've written them down on a piece of paper, because filming with my phone, I left my iPad at the restaurant. April Paper Illustration said, journaling, nothing pretty, just emptying the thoughts out sometimes helps. I've never actually properly journaled. I don't know if I can physically, because I think I'd forget that it exists after I've done it once. But I kind of do that in a different way. Instead of writing it down, I talk them out with my boyfriend. That's normally like when he comes home for lunch. I just vent everything out with him, which he's more than happy to listen, and he did used to work at the restaurant, so he knows everything is. So in a way I kind of journal, but it's verbally journaling because I find it very difficult for me to sit down and write. But that is probably definitely the ADHD. So if you don't have ADHD, journaling might be amazing for you. Or if you have ADHD and you somehow were able to crack journaling, let me know. In my head, it doesn't make sense how to get about it. Like, yes, I get a pretty notebook and I get a pretty pen, which I always love. I write the first couple of days, and then something happens, I forget, and then that's it. I don't write ever again in that notebook. Then that defeats the whole point. But But the thing is all of you said journaling, which is very interesting. And I know that that's definitely none of you have severe ADHD like me. Or if you do, seriously, how do you do this? Kitty Creates Rainbows Cat said, I journal it and take myself to anxious thought court. I thought this was hilarious. Kat then explains on another answer, if I can't provide evidence to support what I'm thinking, then I know it's just in my head. That works. I think that would work really well if you're kind of the worrier anxiety person, that it's, again, not circumstantial, which I'm guessing is what majority of you guys have, is just the constant anxiety in your life. I was lucky enough to get to a point where I stopped having the daily anxiety and just having the circumstantial, something has happened that has spiked it. But this has been like a longer spike. It's like, I would love to be able to adapt that to my situation currently, but I don't think that works. But in other situations, I get how it can really get you out of it. Because also one of the tips that they say is when you're about to have a panic attack is something you see, something you can smell, something you can hear. and you're supposed to, I think it's those three things. And it's, you try and find something you can see and concentrate on that for a second. And what can you see around you that's something physical? Something you can hear. So what sounds can you hear? So it's like if you're outside taking a breath, the birds, the wind, like try and concentrate on those things. And something that you can smell. So again, if you're outside, maybe the smell of freshly cut grass. Or if you're at a restaurant, you can smell the lovely delicious food. Or you're at the beach, you can smell the sea. Like, or you're just at home and you can smell your incense from the other room. Like something like that. It takes your brain out of it. In the same way Kat uses her anxiety court to realise whether she should be thinking about that or it's not, it's just in your head. It's like taking something else to distract you, to calm your brain down, to then be able to process if you're feeling, why you're feeling anxious and how you can adapt your feeling in that moment, which not all the time works. About 1 in 5 times. But along the time you learn to adapt with anxiety. It's something that you shouldn't necessarily have to adapt with, but this world isn't made for people with anxiety. This world is made for such a small percentage of people. That's ridiculous when you think about it, because like the world is not made for people like me. I'm not conventional in any way. I don't fit any normality in no form whatsoever. My life is a complete not normal. Okay, last question. Well, the last answer to my question is from Lacuna Moon Co. and journaling. Again, put all my thoughts on paper and breathing exercises too. So yes, breathing exercises, taking deep breaths when you're about to have a panic attack and you have a chance to get out of there. That's what I do. The process is deep breaths, silence of some way, as in get away from the situation. Something I can see, something I can hear, something I can smell. There's also, you can try something you can taste, like if you've got, very good thing I saw online is carry around some sour sweets in your bag. Very sour, because the fact of you putting a sour sweet in and your body reacting to the sour distracts you from your anxiety. I love that. So there's always a pro to be having to have a sour sweet. So, and I do think it would work. Like theoretically it would work. Haven't tested it, but if you have tested it, let me know. I think I've ranted on for long enough. I just wanted to open the conversation to anxiety with you guys so you kind of feel where I'm at. And it's like I've got loads of motivation of things I want to do for the shop, but my other life is not letting me. So hopefully it won't be slow for too long here. Luckily this is happening at the time of the year that shops are slowing down. Like a lot of people also do go on holiday now to spend time with family and stuff before kids go back to school. So I get it. And it works kind of well in that way. I don't feel as much pressure. Like imagine if I was feeling this around Christmas time, I'd feel so much pressure on myself to have to push through too quickly to get back on track to do the stuff, when I know I do have time and we're going to plan this together. And probably what I will do is in next week's vlog, I'm going to explain to you and show you everything that we're planning on doing for the next launch, so we can kind of do them together and you guys can give me some suggestions for some things as well. But I really think we've got some curious, interesting new types of products to be done, and quite a bit of designing that I haven't done this deep dive designing for a bit. So hopefully soon I'll be able to get back on designing, back on creating. But I love you guys. Thank you for watching this video, and thank you for listening to me ramble about anxiety for half an hour. But let's keep this an open conversation. Let me know, yes, down below, like I said earlier. Well, I'd like to say thank you for sticking around for this last half an hour of me rambling about anxiety. Ta-da! But
I hope it was enabled to, you know, open the conversation for us to talk more about anxiety and dealing with it on a daily basis. And talking for me does a big difference, as well as for you guys writing it down in your journals. For me is venting. So use the comments down below as a little bit of a vent of how sometimes, no matter how much we try, life just gets in the way. Circumstances are never easy. I'm gonna try and stay chill. It's Sunday, I need to edit this. This is gonna be fun for me to edit. I haven't edited anything yet. I will see you guys next week. Hopefully you're watching this in a couple of hours. I love you lots. I'll see you next week. Bye.